to
Howdy.
Talking with Tom and Jim. Tom Goldrup, Jim Goldrup. They are actors and writers and wrote 4 books about the golden age of Hollywood and have a million stories. And next to me, one way or the other, is Daniel Dye, who's here tonight and guest hosting as well. And thank you, sir, for being here. Always fun to have you here. And before we get started, I have a major apology to make. And that is, so last week, when Dylan was here, so Dan, you missed this, I was rattling off a bunch of your accomplishments, as I love doing to start off the show.
Mine?
No, I hate talking about you.
Gotcha,
You don't have
right.
accomplishments.
I was going to say, that's a short list.
No, but yeah. So, but I was rattling off because I said the joke, I have no idea what Dylan's going to ask you, and so I'm going to list everything I can think of to make sure that you're qualified to answer his question. And I went off on this whole list, and what I said was, so for those of you who may have not heard of this yet, Tom and Jim are related to the Clantons, as in the Clantons and the Earps, and have some great stories about that. But in introducing you, I said that you were Clampets.
The Beverly Hillbillies. The Beverly Hillbillies.
And so, watching the tape, Jim starts laughing, and I'm confused as to why. And it wasn't until I watched it that I said that came out of my mouth. I didn't mean that, obviously. And for some reason I said Clampets instead of Clantons. And I did it more than once.
Yeah. We said afterwards, no use letting you know that because that's something you can't edit and change.
I can't edit it. So, yeah, to everyone at home, they're not Beverly Hillbillies. And I didn't intend to say that, and I'm sorry.
It wasn't the Clampets that came up against White Earp.
No,
it wasn't. It wasn't.
If it was the Clampets, White Earp would probably been killed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's probably true. That would be a weird mashup.
Weird mashup. It's almost like you're going to a party and you've misunderstood, and it would be so funny if everyone's dressed all serious in Old West, and then one person's dressed as Jed. He's like, I misunderstood. But anyway, guys, I apologize. So once again,
that's okay. Who knows? We might be related to the Clampets too. I don't know.
Well, they're fictional. Oh.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, next week you'll come back and go, actually.
We're make-believe.
We're make-believe.
Answering this question, as one of the actors we interviewed, he said, well, come back again. I could think of more lies to tell you.
That's
and
right.
We found out it was happened to somebody else instead of him. But
yeah. I'm sure one of the characters you've played is related to them. Positive.
Oh, so anyway, I apologize. But it was so funny because it was obvious that you guys were like, he just said what? And I was just like, I just kept going, didn't notice at all. And I did it more than once. So, Clantons, not the Beverly Hillbillies. So, with that said, welcome, guys.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
Good to see you. And to start off tonight, we were talking last time about acting schools, and then decided, well, should be a whole topic. So I'd like to discuss, your training, your acting school, and what that was like, and what the training was that you guys had. And we can kind of go around the room since we all went to very different acting schools. And I think that'd be just a fun thing to do. And then, of course, any actors that you know who went to any of these schools and had anything to input, that would be great too. So I'll leave it.
One of the people we really got to be good friends with went to the same place that Dan went.
Oh, yeah, the Neighborhood Playhouse.
Yeah.
Woo! Who was that?
His name is John Merlin, and he was in a couple of Perry Masons. But John, when he got out of the Navy, got the GI Bill, and he started getting work in New York as set builder on some summer stock shows, but he wanted to be an actor. And he heard about the Neighborhood Playhouse, and so he applied. And he said this short guy went to interview him. He said he was kind of gruff. He said, but I was kind of gruff too. And he said I didn't know who he was really, but he said to actors he's like God. You know, he's one of the best drama teacher in the country. And he said that he went there for 3 years, you know, and then during the summer he would go back to do summer stock, and he'd come back and do it. And he said he got rid of the D's and dems and does from the East Side New Yorker that he was,
Yep.
and he learned to dance, and he learned to become an actor. And he really thought very highly of Sandy Meisner. He said that, and Sandy Meisner probably had the roughest group of people, actors, that he ever had, because they were all just off back from the war. They were from the islands in the Pacific or Europe, and he said, and we were all crazy, you know. But and they said the girls were all beautiful, and they were the most raunchy actors that they could ever have, probably. he spoke very highly of Sandy Meisner. Yeah.
Our acting coach was Ivor Francis. He was, besides other things, he was a regular on Room 222, and
Well, he appeared on Broadway.
Yeah, he was on Broadway. He worked with Christopher Plummer, but yeah, I didn't go in for the exercises that you had to do before, you know, you start doing scenes. I think every actor has their own method, and that wasn't mine, but I had to do it, you know.
This different sensory exercises and stuff.
Mhm.
But then
Like what?
He had people do, you know, improvs, and he would give like a hidden problem.
yeah,
I did one where I did an improv with Sandra Dee's mother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm the husband. I just found out that the money's kind of coming to an end. We don't have as much as we thought, and my wife had gone out and spent a lot on for Christmas presents and things with a credit card.
Yeah, they each had their hidden problem that the other one didn't know about, and had to
Yeah.
solve.
And I was saying he thought it was going to end up in arguments and all that, but it ended up being a very emotional scene. I even had a tear come in my eye. One of the people in the class said, "Oh, did you notice his tear?" I thought, well, I'm not going to tell you how I did it. The stage light, you know, was shutting down, and while my wife was talking to me, I was just listening to her and holding my eyes open, not blinking, putting a strain, and finally the tear came down. But he was very impressed with how we worked it out.
That's great.
He got mad at me one time because he wanted to do a concentration exercise. And the concentration exercise was to get up there and everything you say is profanity. And I didn't want to do it. I said, no, I don't really see. I said, I know what you're trying to do. I mean, the concentration, fine, but I'm not going to do that. And he said, well, you don't, he started cutting me down. I mean, he started saying all kinds of things about me. And what he was trying to do was get me mad so I would cuss. And but I almost decided that night I'm not coming back, but I did. And he was a great teacher, and I only have wonderful things to say about him. But that was that one night that he got me mad. But I didn't do the profanity thing.
A nice guy, and a lot of times he would spend more time with the other people in the class. And he has us over to his house one time, and he said, "I will explain something to you." He said, both of you are into the classics. You like the classic plays, Chekhov and whatnot. And he said, these others, the other people, they need a little more work than you do. You do, so I'm concentrating more on them.
I mean, he gave us good compliments. And after our brother sold his first Gunsmoke episode, Ivor wrote us a letter and said that either one of you could have played two of the sons in there very well. And he gave us really good compliments.
Oh, yeah, he said that, you know, he's getting to the point where Disney might be owing him favors, and if he does,
directing something.
Yeah, and if he does, then he's going to try to get us into something.
But
Nice.
Never happened.